Hey, little dudes and dudettes. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here on the Rocky Mountain High here in the little Gnome home, and I'm looking at the sun and saying, baby, you're the one. Man, there's an old saying that goes, never turn your back on the setting sun. I think that's real advisable in this day and age, you know. Always face the setting sun. Thank it for the beauty of the day that you've been through and for the amazing calmness of the night that you're going to sleep through as after the sun settles and, you know, goes on its joyful journey helping them get warm in Australia, you know, or wherever else it's going. You know, seems there's a lot of unpeacefulness in the world right now. You know, a lot of tension. People's lives seem to be falling apart. I mean, you can't even get up in the morning and cook breakfast without, you know, having to contend with 13 different difficulties before you get there. Nothing kind of want to flow smoothly right now. I've been trying to do these live videos. I'll even trying to record one today. This thing's giving me grief. I had to redo a whole bunch. Good thing Grandpa's a bit of a techie. I'm a slow one, but I get there. But man, everything's been running contrary. But it's just a feeling, you know. You have it inside, and that's what makes things go weird, because you're feeling it, and that creates it, you know. I've been seeing that all day long as I've been stepping through it, you know. Whenever there's difficulty, we got to pay attention to what we're feeling. Maybe something snuck up on us and we're not paying attention and we ain't feeling the feeling, but it's there. You understand what I mean? So this is the thing I'm going to do from here on out. When I'm blaming it on Mercury retrograde and everything else, I'm going to step back and take a look at what's going on inside of me. You know what I mean? What am I frickin' feeling? What am I feeling inside that's creating such a massacre out here on the outside, making my life a miserable place instead of a fun place to be? Well, sometimes contending with little difficulties, you can spit and sputter and cuss a bit, you know, and that's kind of fun. You get to expel a little bit of anxious energy. So maybe you're just looking at an innocent thing and you're just having a little fun with yourself and you're not hurting anybody by doing it, so what the hell? Or maybe there's something there that's really aggravating you and it's sharp pain in your heart and you ain't never paid no attention to it because it hurts too goddamn bad. You don't want to face it. And bless it. But that's what we got to do, babies. Well, got to do, ought to do is more like the words. Is we don't got to do diddly, you know. It's like we've already paid our dues and life will hand it to us on a silver platter if we'll just let it. I know inside of me I've done a lot of research here, babies. The biggest fear is of that truth, of facing the reality of what we really are. We've blamed ourselves. I mean, I know I'm as guilty of it as anybody. I mean, I don't care how callous you are. Somewhere down under that callous, there's true feeling. And we've blamed ourselves a lot for our failures and other people's failures, you know. We can't hardly seem to pat ourselves too hard on the back for success, you know. But success, too, is often failure here. I mean, this is a world of opposites. You succeed and it's ashes in your hands. You know, the gold turns to dust. You know what I mean? The thrill is gone, and now you're obligated and responsible and so forth. Every prison has its chains and its way of bringing you in. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you don't even know that's where you go until you get there. It's very deceptive. That's the way this life has been. But if you pay attention to what you're feeling, and then step back and spend some time on correcting that feeling. If it's one that's taking you down, in any way, if it's holding you back in any way, if it's causing you personal pain, babies, it's time that it be dealt with in this loving way. You don't take it out behind the woodshed and beat it with the belt. That's old-fashioned. Don't do that anymore, man. That's ruggedy territory. What you do is you embrace it. You thank it for the love that it's shared with you through this pain, through this misery, through this whatever it is that you're feeling. You bless it with the feeling of joy. Say, hey, baby, time to step from behind the curtain. Quit playing the boogeyman, Get your ass over here and let's party, Nobody's to be blamed for anything anymore. It's just a role we've played. That's the substance of this whole reality. And when you really start to get this, and I know at least a part of you has already, but there's other parts that aren't quite ready or haven't been quite ready, and they've been kind of resistant in a subtle sort of way, so you wouldn't notice too much, and they get away with it. You know what I mean? So that's again, if things are getting difficult, if you can, or as soon as you can, step back and take a look. Give yourself some calm time. Get out in nature if you can, but if that's not possible, get in a private, quiet place, something like that. Go sit in a park behind a bush, but don't look weird, you know what I mean? Don't draw attention to yourself. Find some place you can be quiet, and preferably alone, but if others are around you, you can tune them out. As long as they're not going to come bother you, you can tune them right out, And give yourself some time. Capture the feeling, like on videotape. And examine it again and again if you have to. Go there, See if you can't get down. And you're going to have to be brave about this, because in everybody's life there's sorrowful moments. And a lot of times, because they are so sorrowful, they get buried. A lot of it happens to you when you're little kids, but sometimes, as recently as 2 years ago or a minute ago, whatever. You know what I mean? We all have our traumas, our experiences, And these have affected us, marked us. But they're also beginning points to bring you back inside of yourself. When you can go there, to these moments that have caused this grief in your life, cause you to really lose yourself and become so frustrated that things will never go right for you, it seems, well, that's when it's time for backing up and taking a look. And you do it preferably from this spiritual aspect. You don't try to force your mind to think it up and remember it or anything. You relax, you kick back. Give a little focus to this area of the middle of your forehead. You guys all know this. I put it in that video named The Keys. You get tuned in. You get in communion with the heart in that way. Third eye, palms of the hands. Yeah. And babies, you rock. Gently, calmly. Sometimes with tension, but release the tension. When you see it, when you feel yourself tightening up, just notice it. Take a breath, let it go. Feel the feeling of life coming into you, back into you. Let it happen. It's unusual. You're going to buzz and vibrate all over. You're going to feel real light in the chest. You just let it come to you. And I promise you, each of you will have your special moments if you'll just give yourself time to do it. And I don't care what kind of practitioner you already are. You may not have done it this way just yet. So if you haven't, time to do it. And if you have, do it again. And this time, you get to charge up, you get to rev up. It's time to end the bullshit and get on with the reality. So this is kind of like step one, the beginning of your personal progress. And step two will come along pretty soon to you. It may not come through me, it may come from a completely different source. Just be ready. you know. And by being ready, I mean, notice that you are very willing, in fact, hungry for this experience. That if you look inside, even at the bottom essence of your pain, if you still have it, is this desire to be reconnected with the mother's heart inside of you. What some people are calling the divine feminine is the arousal of the caring heart, the creative heart, the one that's created it all, from the womb of love from which life springs forward, babies. So yeah, it's the return of the divine feminine, all right. But it comes in some kind of gritty ways. You've got to be ready for this, babies, you know. Life's been rough. We've got a lot to let go of. But it's easy and simple compared to what it could have been even a few days ago. Things have converted that much in the past few days. In the past week, the energies have amplified 100-fold here on this earth. So guys, in other words, you're ready. Don't worry about it. And if you see that same fear inside of you, you know it's not really a part of you yet. It is. It's right at the core of your being, man. That fear of awakening. You know what you got here. You don't know what you got there. And the thing the fear is based on is this divine guilt. It's a guilt trip, babies. A superficial one, yet we all share it. We all feel responsible for it in some way, at some aspect. It lives in us. And we're feeling like it's our fault. At some level, we may not be able to articulate that or even hear it as a thought like that in your mind. But you got the feeling of it. It's a heaviness. It's a weightiness. That's what holds us back. That's what's stopping us now. And that's why we go back to these, feelings, and they take us to these moments where some traumatic things have happened to us, and we remember, but from a different level. And we walk back into those experiences like we're an angel. And we see it from the angelic perspective. And we see the real purposes being served. And I'm not going to spoil the ending for you by giving it all away. But that's what you do. And babies, you might have to do this a few times in rapid succession because nobody's sitting around anymore. But I promise you, if you do, you'll get it resolved and we'll all be far better off for it. Each person that sets himself free in this way gets the divine buzz going on. And that's exactly what it is, baby. It is a divine buzz. It's feeling the life within yourself. You've never been able to do this. You have no idea how shocked and put away your feelings really are. When you step into this divine moment, this feeling of love will tingle. You'll buzz in every little cell and atom of your being, the body, the housing of the creative energy of love, which we're now, as you get this spark, in the process of transforming into a far finer form of being. Yeah, it's still us, and we'll know one another. It's not a complete giving away of personality or anything like that. It's becoming who we really are. And this body that's meant to feel and be a part of Mother Earth's extension into creation, her divine children, her babies. To take her experience of love and expand it not just through the universe, but the universes. There's many. To share it with all. That's why we're so essential here. We've had some hard taskmasters. Worse than any drill sergeant ever dreamed of being. Worse than any prison camp that humans can conceive of. We've had some tough taskmasters. But they put us through this lesson of pain. The aspects of divine guilt. All of it. And our response has been mostly to harden ourselves and pretend that it isn't there. And then we're acting in a form of cruelty to one another numbly, even though it's still done. essentially in the name of the divine and the energy of the divine that lives within you. In the divinity is the truth. And that truth does set you free, because every activity is an act of that divine within yourself. It is often an act of supreme sacrifice. Humans tend to do that a lot, in service to one another. They couldn't even conceive of it at the time, but their heart felt it, they let it happen. And there you go. Another sacrifice. Another energy being transferred and transformed. And there's the end of it. The divine union has occurred in its own way, in its own right, and brings itself back together again, same way old Humpty Dumpty, who fell off the wall, brought himself back together in my little fairy tale. How about yours? It's a magnetic energy. It's called love. Let it flow through you now, babies. These times are rocking. The bullshit's out the window. Time for us to fly. And that's all there is to it. Love you, baby. Catch you on the old flip-flop. Glad I finally got this one done. Goodness. Technology's a wonderful thing. Rock.